It's Silverstone, it's wet, and it's the penultimate round of the Benzie Championship. The first two go hand in hand for this meeting, but usually this venue represents the final round of the championship series. It means therefore that Team NSF Racing and rider Neil Faulkner have one more outing at Brands Hatch before the year ends. They will have hoped to have used up all of their bad luck here this weekend, since during yesterday's testing the engine sucked in a foreign body and consequently required stripping to prepare it for racing today. Neil has two machines at his disposal, but obviously wants to give himself the best possible chance of winning by deploying the quicker one in the race. This has meant a good deal of hard work by members of the team. However, it seemed that all this effort had come to nothing when, in very tricky conditions whilst leading the first of his two races, this happened at Cops Corner on lap 2. In the wet conditions, Neil, with a seemingly comfortable advantage, was easily out in front, and then camera was going to let him go through the frame and follow the rest of the chasing pack when he heard the scraping sound of the bike, that telltale noise, and Neil unfortunately went heavily down, and a lot of damage to that machine, as you can see. It doesn't look any better in slow motion as the machine rolls over and over and rider behind it doing a similar, but fortunately Neil, apart from a few bruises, uninjured. But that machine has destroyed itself, and a lot of work again necessary back in the paddock. With a busy weekend schedule, everyone has to muck in and do their bit for the team. The odds were certainly stacked against Neil, because even if one leaves aside the effect that a heavy tumble has on a rider, both physically and mentally, he would have to start the race from the back of the grid, as this was determined by the finishing order in race 1. Having mulled over the scenario then, let's take a look at the action from race 2. So there is just the back of the grid, and right at the very back, all on his own, is Neil Faulkner. Well, he couldn't be more lonely sitting there right at the back, and well, he's got it all to do, no question about that. It's a long grid which stretches beyond where we can see. We look now front on towards that starting grid. Neil's out of sight round the corner, that's how far back he is. Now the red flag then moves to one side. We're waiting for the signal from the starting lights to get the race underway, and they leave the line, and it's throttles wide, and who is it that's going to be the first into Cops Corner? No messing about the wheelies for the riders here, they just want to be quick, and it's 73 that looks like he's first in. That Simon Wright, and there is Neil just trying to edge his way through on the inside. He's already passed about 8 to 10 riders as he goes up the inside of another one there as they round the Cops Corner, very tricky corner for the first time. Well, Neil having to hold that tight inside line. They turn up then at our second camera position at Beckett's, and there's Neil, another wide outside line, just trying to nip through on what is effectively a chicane on the way into a hairpin at Beckett's section here. So through go the rest of the field, and that's the man, the 75 Craig Emerson on the Aprilia RSV, who's bringing up the rear of the field at the moment. But there's the man that leads it. It's 73, and that is Simon Wright. Simon Wright on the 900 Honda, comes from Beccles. Second place, it's champion for this particular class, I believe, and that is Richard Freshwater. But Neil still making progress, and we look at him now on the 98 machine, looking to go around the outside of the 62 machine of Jim Woodhams. Jim Woodhams on the yellow bike. Well, new colour schemes for both of the Woodhams riders here. John Woodhams is the other one, and round the outside goes Neil as they go into Woodcote, a very fast, deceptively quick right-hander with no runoff. It's a really scary corner, as is this one where he took the tumble earlier on today. But he's undaunted and still making his way through the field as we look at some of the tail enders. Leader 73 already up at our second camera position. Simon Wright is there, and Neil slips underneath Freddie Traherne as he goes into the chicane section, and now through the hairpin at Beckett's. Turn the machine right-handed, accelerate hard down the club straight. We look forward again towards the front, but the battle's beginning to unfold, and this is the battle for second, I believe, at the moment, and it's 49 that just moves through there. That's Mark Kingston, and around the outside goes Neil Faulkner, around John Woodhams, that was number 61. So it's still good progress here from Neil, coming up to the 49 machine of Mark Kingston now. While he's probably not in second place, Mark Kingston, we're probably still looking a little bit further down the order than that, and Neil gets on the gas and heads that machine through Woodcote once again. And as we look, well, it's fifth place at the moment for Neil Faulkner, looking to go on the inside there of Kingston as they go into the braking zone for the very fast right-hander at Cops, and Neil has to use all the circuits, such was his entry speed there, and he was in danger of running wider and onto that gravel, but he had it all under control, and that was maximum speed through there. So up into Beckett's once again. Neil Faulkner, relentless progress, and this is certainly required because he's come off the back row of the grid, remember, and he's heading to try and catch the man that was on the front row and made the best of the start, Simon Wright. So we stay with Neil then down the very fast club straight, under the bridge, into the stadium section. 98 machine of Neil Faulkner continues to make his way through the field and around the outside of another machine there, and was that, well, that was the 97 machine that he's just overtaken. That was Tom Brentford with the 1000 Suzuki. Well, the 1000 Suzuki is certainly a very good tool indeed to have. Neil now looking to chase after Richard Freshwater, the man that I think has already clinched the championship for the PowerBike class this year. Neil, of course, has not done all the rounds, so that's why he only figures in something like about 6th place in the series. And he's right behind Freshwater now as they come up into the right-hander again at Copse and closing still further with him. So, excellent progress. And they come up now towards Beckett's. Race leader goes through. We'll shortly pan back and see how Neil is getting on, and there he slips on the inside of Freshwater as they come through the chicane part. A favoured overtaking place that for Neil. Did it to somebody on the last lap as well. Just a little bit of a slight twitch as he enters the straight again and gets on the gas and comes down that very, very quick straight. Into the stadium once more. Well, the lap's unfolding. And Clinton Wood is the next target. Well, Clinton's already won a race earlier on this morning. That was the one that unfortunately Neil took the tumble in. So Clinton Wood, certainly no slouch. And he's got to be passed before Neil can... There's the distance back to the race leader, and that's quite considerable at this stage of the race. Around the halfway stage, and Neil's still got a lot of work to do to get onto terms. Looking now to shape confidently on the inside as they come up towards Copse on the Wood, and he's going to go through. And Neil Faulkner into second position now, up ahead of Clinton Wood. Richard Freshwater chasing Clinton Wood hard, looking also to try and go through on the inside of him. Those two side by side. And through goes Neil Faulkner, and Clinton Wood battling away there with for that third position with Freshwater. But Neil Faulkner is still there and chasing hard. And it's that 73 machine of Simon Wright that denies him the number 1 position at the moment. There is Wright into Brooklands corner now. Just looking to see what the gap is. Well, there's Neil, and still a bit to be done. But Neil will be concentrating very hard indeed. He's got through all of the traffic bar one rider, and that is the race leader. And now he's got clear tarmac with which to try and reel in that race leader, so the best opportunity yet for him. He can take the quick lines through the corner. He doesn't have to worry, unless, of course, they should begin to catch up with some more back markers. The degree of speed and ability here in these races is quite phenomenal sometimes at club level, and a little bit of twitch on the back end of Neil's machine as he goes round Copse. That's just an indication of how hard he's trying. As you open the throttle, the machine protests violently. And very close now to the race leader at Beckett's this time. He's in a challenging position, and he could do this. Well, what a fairy tale result this could be. Back to front, right from the back of the grid to the front maybe, as we just take a look at some of the downfield battlers. Martin Brynd on the Kawasaki, shortly to be caught by these two as they come into the stadium section, and Neil has gone past. Neil Faulkner, as they reach the braking zone for Brooklyn, went past the 73 machine of Simon Wright. So Simon Wright is in that second place. Can he fight back? Well, it's concentration purely the name of the game now for Neil Faulkner. He must be really fired up, having come through the entire field, and is now leading this race, but it's no foregone conclusion yet. Across the line they come to begin another lap. They head down the start-finish straight and in again towards Copse corner. Now the question going through Neil's mind will be, should he continue to try as hard as he had to get up to this number 1 position, or can he now afford to relax a little bit and just keep the second place man where he is? Well, underneath the back marker into Beckett's again, and that's always useful to put a back marker between you. It sometimes just slows the man in second down a little bit, but Wright got through there, and the gap is not enormous as they come down the club straight once again. Neil Faulkner ahead of Simon Wright now, under the bridge and back into the stadium once again. 98 machine of Neil Faulkner. What a ride this has been after such a disastrous weekend it seemed. On Friday it all began, and then it got even worse this morning with that tumble, but this would be brilliant if he could go over and take the win. It'll make the whole weekend worthwhile. Accelerating then up towards the Woodcote section. Good tight line through the apex of the corner. Let it drift out wide as they come across the line. It's the last lap now. The last lap flag held out, and it's the man in second place, Simon Wright, got a second win perhaps because he's trying to close up on Neil Faulkner. But as I was saying earlier, Neil will be trying to pace himself to some degree. He won't want to risk another tumble, but he was certainly trying hard that time through Copse with that machine squirming again under power. So through the chicane and into Beckett's. And it's Neil Faulkner leading the race on what is the last half a lap now. The club straight and the stadium complex to go. And this will be a truly wonderful victory for Neil Faulkner if he can pull it off here. And it certainly looks on the cards now as he comes into the stadium section. And it's Neil Faulkner. Well, you won't see a better race than this, no matter what level of racing you watch. This has been superb entertainment. And you certainly wouldn't have put money on at Joe Corrals to see this sort of result for Neil Faulkner here in race 2 of the weekend. Well, he's out of Luffield now and sprinting up towards Woodcote to see the checkered flag. It's a superb victory for Neil Faulkner and the team. Well, their efforts fully justified. Everyone has worked completely hard, and it'll be a sore Neil Faulkner after that tumble. But he won't be thinking about that at the moment. He will be absolutely delighted with that superb performance there that he's put in on the R1 Yamaha machine. A machine that he was saying that he wants to maybe change for next season. So, well, let's get our breath back after that one. Neil Faulkner on the slow down lap, waving to the crowd and the marshals. It's a job well done.